After a day of meetings in Israel and the West Bank on Thursday, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken met with foreign ministers of Qatar, the UAE, Egypt, Jordan, and Bahrain, as well as representatives of the Palestinian Authority on the sidelines of the COP28 in Dubai to discuss the ongoing conflict and the future of Gaza. Now, to talk more about the U.S.'s role in this conflict, we can speak to David Makovsky, Ziegler Distinguished Fellow at the Washington Institute and Director of the Koret Project on Arab-Israeli relations. Thanks for joining us. Now, Tony Blinken said that the U.S. was, quote, intensely focused on getting hostages back. That would obviously require a new deal. We're seeing that these negotiations are very tricky. How likely is it that there will be a new deal, and how much can the U.S. really do in this?
I don't know. This is tough because I think we are almost done with the easy part, which was more the women and the children, a 3-for-1 formula on prisoners, Palestinian prisoners released for every hostage release. I thought that there was still a day or two left on the women, and it fell apart. Israel blames Hamas, Hamas blames Israel. And so what I don't know is if the fighting now is just a part of the brinkmanship in the hostage negotiations, or whether the hostage negotiations are over and we're starting, phase 2 of the ground incursion. As Americans, we've been supportive of Israel's role to topple Hamas, but we want to see it done with the minimum amount of damage to civilians. And it's going to be harder in the South because Israel has been successful in telling 1 million people in the North to go to the South, and now they're in the South, so there's 2 million people. So the United States, we will try to navigate this, but it is not going to be, it's not going to be easy. I think the last week has been the high point in a certain way in terms of getting the hostages out, and I'm not sure we're going to be able to repeat that success.
You mentioned that the United States was working hard to get the Israelis to be careful as to how they operate in this next phase. We saw Tony Blinken talking about more precise strikes to avoid displacement of people. So the public comments have been more and more forceful when it comes to how Israel conducts itself. How much sway does the United States really have? We know they're the #1 supporter of Israel, but is Israel really listening?
Look, I think President Biden has been Israel's stalwart ally in this. Israel does not want to lose President Biden, for sure. This is not a footnote. This is everything. And so all eyes on the president. It's not going to be easy to square the objectives of both toppling Hamas in a densely populated urban area and also trying to minimize casualties. I think the U.S. would like something what I would call deconfliction zones in areas like Khan Younis and others to avoid places where Israel will be going after, assuming they'll be going after the tunnels in Khan Younis and places like that in Rafah. So this is going to be tough, but I know that Israel does not want to lose the United States, that's for sure.
And as I was mentioning, Antony Blinken was meeting with Arab leaders on the sidelines of the COP28. What do you make of those meetings and what they are discussing and what they could mean for the future?
No, I think it's a great question. I mean, I think there's a problem is there's a little bit of doublespeak. The media is not as clued into it, where these same Arab leaders want Israel to topple Hamas. They see Hamas as destabilizing, but they don't want pictures and videos in their countries of innocent people being killed either. So I think they want Israel to succeed, but they want Israel to succeed cost-free. And again, threading that needle is easier said than done.
David Makovsky, thanks so much for your time and analysis. Thank you.
Anytime. Delighted to help.